What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Simple Minds, and we're going back to the 1979 album Life in a Day, and we're up to the title track. I think I talked about the phrase when I reacted to the first tune on this album, but Life in a Day, there's a poetry to it, there's a almost reverse temporal looking glass character, meaning it's taking what is, in the grand scheme of things, a very short period of time. Even though a waking day, many things can happen during it, but it's taking a self-contained unit of time, which here on Earth is related to the way the Earth spins and rotates around the sun, but also what that means for we human and other living creatures on the planet. It speaks to an episode in life, but to then take an entire life and condense it to that singular episode, it mixes human understandings of time in ways that I think are interesting in both directions. The idea of living out an entire life in a day, but the idea of an entire life's worth of experience being compressed into such a short, relatively speaking, period of time is also a fascinating angle. So I don't quite know what to expect. I don't necessarily expect to hear all of Kerr's vocals on a first listen, and it is interesting as I've gone through different periods of their music. I do notice that as we go forward in time, I do tend to hear him a little bit better, at least up to 1986 and Once Upon a Time. But yeah, I'll see what I can catch on a first listen. This is Life in a Day by Simple Minds from the album of the same name, 1979. Love that melody on top. And then the churning lower end.
There's no
intriguing tune, and one that had. It's so weird going through now only about 7 years of their material and hearing a lot of different flavors. I've heard songs that sort of are in that synth rock, new wave flavor. This one had a classic rock meets Roxy music, which I've heard some people describe them as like glam rock and some other things, but definitely an older rock sound, but mixed with some elements that do sound like, I don't know, late 70s Newman, like Two-Boy Army kind of like keyboard lines, and this really like churning bass, and then, the stuff like Once Upon a Time, it sounds very like stadium rock and big and dramatic. People have said it's almost like they were kind of following the directions that U2 had been heading. And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't use the word following. I'm not trying to make any like band comparisons or they did this first or whatever. It's just like people mention that by the time you get to the mid 80s, they sounded a lot more like U2 were sounding. So, but yeah, bottom line, this has a really interesting blend of that energy that I've heard in some other tunes with, I'm guessing that was a keyboard, that kind of electric, really high melodic line that came back in a couple times that I was saying is, basically the part that really grabbed my attention the most. I assume that's a keyboard, but yeah, there's some moments where with groups, especially groups where the particular arrangement or even the instruments being used, they change over, songs or definitely albums. Sometimes I'm not sure what I'm hearing, and I wasn't quite sure there, but again, that rolling bass, and I heard a number of lyrics, but obviously there was like looking at your watch, and it did seem to be very much about time and like trying to figure what that is. But then they were lying, you can't escape something, so a day, it's a self-contained unit, you can't escape time, it's, the flow of time is always running, so I feel like there's maybe some conceptual stuff there that I was only just on the edges of, but yeah, ultimately a really fun tune, a dynamic one that had some creative craziness to it. It reminded me of Roxy music or some of that, tempo shifting, different elements evolving over the course of the song, like that classic rock, 7-minute tunes and so on. I don't think this was that long, but it had that same, you don't quite know where it's going type of feel to it. So, cool track. I do tend to babble when I listen to songs that sort of, catch my brain a certain way, so I think it's a good indication. Let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you next time. Peace.